Peace and blessings, family. Sister Ajali, let me point this up a little bit there. I like that better. Just a little bit. Yeah, okay. A little bit more. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's good. I haven't done a video about, goodness gracious, health and fitness. As soon as you say the words, you feel like somebody's making you drink a whole bottle of castor oil. But there's no other way to step into a fortified you without just venturing into that really tedious and strenuous and challenging arena of life. I look at working out and eating healthy has just become an easy thing for me to do, or easier. But I look at moving my body and sweating and as the same level of responsibility as brushing my teeth, because there are consequences if I don't do it. But one of the things I've found is with the food, because I'm a food addict without a doubt, but I've gotten to the point where I trick myself into better eating habits so that I don't notice the change too much. Like in the book that I am now going to study, I realized for a whole year in order to write, I'm going to include recipes, and one of my recipes I've developed all on my own is a baked pancake recipe. I know you're like, how can you bake pancakes? I figured it out. You could probably figure it out too, but also the ingredients I use are just, I've gotten to the point where I can bake something and just use stevia, not even use coconut sugar, which has a low glycemic index. That's great, but at the same time it still causes a slight inflammatory, response in your body. And so I'm just trying to, for myself, as a way of tricking myself, stay away from all of those ingredients that will just be an excitotoxin in my brain, and then they'll just convince me, well, gee, why stop at one? Eat several. I find that when I have my baked pancakes, the flavor is so phenomenal, and the texture is appealing. I don't use very much flour in them either, I know, right? But just enough so that it stabilizes it a bit, but a very low amount so that I can eat one and I'm completely satisfied because they're so healthy. It's incredible. So that's one of the ways I trick myself, because I always like to have a snack, and I've gotten so good at it that sometimes after I have my salad, which has, it's not lettuce and tomatoes, my salad is fortified. Whoa. And sometimes I don't even want to have the pancake because I'm like, I'm good. I don't need any more. So I have paid close attention over the decades to my cravings so that I can substitute with something else temporarily. If I have to, like when I went vegan, I started eating the vegan meats that are out there. Now I don't need to eat them at all. And that makes me feel happy, because when I read the list of ingredients, a lot of them have a certain ingredient called hexane in them, which sounds like gasoline, because it is a derivative of gasoline, I do believe. But they put that in there for whatever knows reason. And I don't want it coursing through my bloodstream, which it would. So and I'm not recommending, because that's a heck of a lot better than the meat. And that's one of the things that they got a lot of, like, former vegans. I was vegan and I was so weak and I couldn't do anything. And that can be true depending on if you're a conscious or an unconscious vegan. You can be a junk food vegan and you are going to not be in as much trouble as a healthy meat eater, but you're not getting enough of the nutrients necessary so that you don't feel a loss of energy. I've been vegan now for, oh my goodness, over 14 years. And I'm 60 and I just ran 5 miles, and I do it constantly. It's so boring to even mention it because it's just what I do. And the way that I've managed that is I use different supplements that you can't get just from eating vegetables, such as coenzyme Q10 and L-carnitine. Is it acetyl L-carnitine and L-carnosine, which are two, like, I would, it's almost impossible to get them if you're not eating meat, but they're crucial for repairing damaged muscle tissue. And so in that regard, some of the things that these, I was a vegan, but I changed my mind, folks out there are saying has a basis in fact. But at the same time, for me, because I know about the further up the food chain you are, the more you're going to be taking in radiation. And I'm about, just extending my life as long as life is going to be over one day, and it just is what it is. But because of that, the higher up the food chain, meaning that if you're eating meat, you're getting everything that animal ate over its lifetime. Plants don't eat other plants, but cows, they eat an awful lot of plants that can be heavily irradiated, along with the hormones, and they give them every single vaccine there is. And no thank you. I'm just saying, no thank you at all. Because of that, I'm sorry, I don't want to do that. If time comes to where, and it's coming, it's already here pretty much, where these devils are, I think they're waiting to have all society collapse when they have calculated that we are completely vulnerable. Right now, there's too much of a word getting out from folks like me, urban homesteaders, preppers, whatever you want to, off the grid folks, to let you I'm not saying you're common, my apologies for that, but regular folks, I consider myself regular folk because I ain't got a whole hill of money. By the way, go buy my soap. Don't tease the creators, okay? The content creators, I mean, because I need your help in order to study so I could put a definitive textbook together that's going to be packed with information precisely calibrated to what Black you and me need to know. And so all of these preppers are out here letting you know what's going on, and that's not as vulnerable a population as they need. And they also need to convince everybody to give up their guns. And so expect more, horrible mass just attacks and assaults using guns, but that doesn't make a difference. In England, guns are illegal pretty much. They'll just have attacks with knives. What are you going to do, okay? If somebody is coming at you, they're just coming at you, and you got to take a defensive stance. I prefer to be in a population where somebody's carrying a weapon and they could take that attacker out right there at the bat, okay? And so with that information, with that knowledge, we're all better prepared. But the collapse is, they're setting it up, it's already in place, and thereby you do want to be as strong and fortified. You want not to have to be addicted to eating meats in the first place, so that if something happens, I'm out front collecting dandelions. I got some pokeweed. Pokeweed is very particular. You got to be, really specific, because otherwise it'll kill you. And you get it when it's all green, and you don't get it when it starts turning red. You don't eat the poke root. You only eat where the leaves are growing off of, and the leaves themselves. And then there's a process in cooking it. Overall, just eating healthy has cleared up so many ailments that I have that it's astounding to me. And I used to define myself via those ailments, so that I was just like, oh, I'm just somebody who coughs all the time. I'm just somebody who has allergies all the time. Don't have them anymore. I don't have skin issues, pretty much for the most part, anymore. That included like this time of year when it starts turning springtime, I'd always break out in hives. I don't get hives anymore. I don't get pimples anymore. My cold sore, gone. It's just gone. If it comes up, like it came up I think about a year and a half ago, and then I have natural treatments that pretty much just stave it off. I use tea tree oil, I put that right on there, and ice, I put that right on there, and then I bump up the amount of lysine that I take. But on the regular lysine and selenium supplements, I'm good as rain, and I don't eat anything with sesame seeds in it. That's also really helpful. And also I have garlic tablets that I take, so that's really helpful. But all of this has been beneficial to my ability to stay strong and healthy as a conscious vegan, so that I look at some folks who are supposed to be my age, and they scared the pants off of me. I'm like, oh my God, is that the way I'm supposed to look? Or is that the way I'm supposed to be? Where I see folks starting to slow down. You're slowing down. I don't feel anything of the sort like that. It could happen. As I say, I look at aging as a magnificent lesson. And it's like you're just getting this big, beautiful, bountiful bouquet of flowers. And each flower is another lesson. So to have achieved this age, and to do so with strength and with vigor and with joy. Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. And so, tricking myself with the eating has been really wonderful. Can't trick myself so much with the exercise, so I'm just careful. It's a very humbling experience, where this was a tough one today, because I'm being far more consistent with my exercise. I do 3 days on, 1 day off. And I knew it was a mistake when I was doing it. Yesterday was my day off, and I just felt as if, what? A day off? But I miss my exercise. And then this morning I woke up and I knew it was going to happen. As soon as I started getting prepared, that's when all of a sudden that little voice was, you don't want to do this. You want to stay your butt at home and just relax. You deserve a relaxation day, which I do, but I'm waiting to maybe take 2 solid days off, because that is also, I found over the years of working out regularly, constantly, that sometimes I'm stronger when I take a successive amount of days off. I try not to take too many off, because once I get into day 3, then that old, I think, I showed the picture of me when I was large and in charge, or larger. But yeah, that old me is still here. And she does not believe that I am someone who gets up and consistently runs. That was some other crazy people that I would meet. Like, what? She runs on the regular? She's a weirdo. Yeah, but it is me. However, I have to just, do a denial, but a healthy denial, where I don't pay attention to my thoughts, and I just say, just, put the running gear on. I have my preparations so that I don't lose my electrolytes. I drink harmless coconut water, which I recommend, actually, even though I'm not I don't get any money from Harmless. And organic cacao. I mix them all together along with maca powder. And then my different little fortifying supplements. And I just do that put my running gear on and I do my warm-up, go through the routine, and through my head all the time is like the voices, not literally, I don't hear voices, but I'm just saying it's me saying, you old, what you doing? You must be nuts. But I say, don't pay attention to her. I know you feel like you're not going, because I'll feel tired. I'll be like, oh, dang, I don't feel strong. But I know, because I've been doing it so long, that I'm making it up. I am actually in some sort of like cognizant confusion where if I don't pay attention to that voice, I might make it through the whole thing, even though I don't believe it. But I'll go out and I'll say, just run around one circuit. And then I do it. And then I say, well, just do a second one. By the time I get to the second one, I'm just like, whoa, yeah, I'm bad. It never ceases to amaze me. And then by the end of the thing, it's a sensation of flying. Even though, yes, I have to come to the ground. I'm not like the birds. But that elevated victory is so beautiful that I don't notice the coming to the ground. I just notice the buoyancy as I just jump up. So you feel like you're flying. I adore that. I didn't necessarily love running when I started, but then I was just like, well, what exercise do I love? Because people would say, oh, you got to do what you love. I feel like, they have had arranged marriages and then you grow to love the person. I think that's how dependent on just how wonderful your family structure is, that they're not going to set you up with somebody just really disgusting. But I think of my exercise as arranged exercise where I didn't love it at all, but I had to. Like, I got to brush my teeth. I don't know how many people get excited about brushing their teeth, okay? And now I love running. I've learned to love it, even if it's a complicated relationship. I need it, and it is so beneficial. Oh my God. If you are young, get to it. You are going to be running circles around me. And soon enough, your body will heal up like this. Mine, I got to work it through because there's different things that will happen as you get older. And I'm like, okay. I don't look at it as the way they taught us where, oh, you're getting older and you just got to let it all fall to pieces. I found out that is a lie. It's not true at all. But if you're young, challenge those insane voices in your head by being crazier than them insane voices, because you are going to love the long-term results of defying gravity and time. Love it. Mwah. Straight black family pride, and we are out of hell like that. Peace and blessings, family. I love you.